You don't know these Minecraft bosses because we haven't seen them in Minecraft at all. Like, what in the world is this? Well, these bosses are only seen in the spin-offs, Minecraft Dungeons and Minecraft Legends. So let's get familiar with them, starting with the first game, Minecraft Dungeons, and looking over at the Corrupted Cauldron. The Corrupted Cauldron is a massive animated iron cauldron bubbling with dark, ominous purple liquid. It hovers above the ground surrounded by smaller entities and these weird effects that radiate from its body. Despite its name, the Corrupted Cauldron is not an object, but an aggressive boss that uses a variety of attacks to challenge players. Its attack patterns kind of combine both magical projectile and area of effect abilities, kind of like how one of its moves, the Potion Spray, this attack forces players to dodge quickly or go behind obstacles. Another move is the Corrupted Minions. This attack divides players' attention and makes the fight more dynamic. Another move is the Potion Explosion. Unleash a powerful explosive burst from its cauldron. This attack causes a large area of effect damage that damages you over time. But in some of the phases of the fight, the cauldron attempts to heal itself by drawing power from the corrupted potion within itself, kind of forcing you to just let him heal. You can't really do much about it. The Nameless One. The Nameless One is an ominous figure covered in void energy. It appears as a massive shadow-like thing with glowing eyes and waves of dark magic. The Nameless One's combat style revolves around void magic, Void Blast. The boss unleashes powerful blasts of void energy in targeted bursts. These projectiles can cause significant damage. Throughout the fight, the Nameless One summons small void creatures called voidlings as well. These minions, swarm you, distracting you from the actual target, which is the boss. And it even teleports. The Nameless One can teleport around the battlefield unpredictably, making it difficult to maintain constant pressure. This ability kind of forces you to stay alert and adapt quickly to its changing positions. The Nameless One is a pretty cool boss with all its abilities, but it's not as cool as the Redstone Monstrosity. This giant mechanical-like enemy powered by redstone was first introduced in the Soggy Swamp DLC. Unlike many other bosses that are made with magical or natural origins, the Redstone Monstrosity embodies the concept of an artificial titan brought to life by powerful redstone. The Redstone Monstrosity is a towering, hulking creature crafted from blocks that resemble rusty iron and redstone components. The design emphasizes its mechanical nature with visible gears, large metallic limbs. The Redstone Monstrosity combines heavy melee attacks, which makes him a versatile and dangerous because of his crushing slam. The boss uses its massive arms to slam down on the ground, causing an area shockwave that damages and knocks back players nearby. There's time dodges are essential to avoid this attack, kinda like in Elden Ring. But okay, why am I comparing Minecraft and Elden Ring? I mean, this is kinda Elden Ring. Another attack of the Redstone Monstrosity is the Redstone Charge. The boss also emits bursts of redstone energy that, you have to dodge as well. And then guess what? The Redstone Monstrosity also can summon minions. But now these little minions are really tiny and really cute, so we have a bit of a change now. Arch Illager. The Arch Illager was first introduced when Minecraft Dungeons launched, being the final boss in the game's main storyline. Once a humble villager, the Illager was an outcast to his community, leading him down to a dark path. Using the power of an ancient artifact known as the Orb of Dominance, he transforms into the Arch Illager, a darker version of his former self. The Arch Illager wears a dark, tattered cloak with runes and carries a powerful staff with dark magic. His face is messed up, glowing with a malevolent purple aura. But I'm not gonna lie, aura is the one thing he's lacking. One of the Arch Illager's moves is the Dark Magic Blast. The Arch Illager fires bolts of dark energy at you. Now, throughout the fight, he summons waves of Illagers, Vindicators, Evokers, and other corrupted mobs to overwhelm you. And remember when we talked about the Orb of Dominance? The orb is above his head, which releases powerful shockwaves and energy that damage anyone caught in the radius. The Arch Illager can also teleport around the battlefield unpredictably. The Heart of Ender. The Heart of Ender appears as this weird orb, floating weirdly in the air. The Heart of Ender fires a concentrated beam or orbs of purple energy that deal heavy damage on impact. These attacks often require players to stay on the move to avoid getting hit. One of the moves is the Pulses, and of course it summons Ender minions to aid itself in battle. The Heart of Ender can teleport short distances or shift phases, making it difficult to land consistent hits. These movements create moments of unpredictability, and he has one really cool move, Void of Corruption. Mushroom Monstrosity. The Mushroom Monstrosity is a cow that just so happens to be larger than a normal mushroom. This dude has patches of glowing, corrupted mushrooms growing over its body. Its eye glow with a weird red light, and also has a massive testosterone fueled body. I mean, just look at that. Look at that beefcake, man. Look at him. This boss is multi-phase. The mushroom slams its hooves into the ground, creating a shockwave that damages you. It also releases weird clouds of corrupted spores that linger in the air, causing damage over time to anyone caught within them. You gotta like move around these zones quickly or else you're just gonna die. And as well, he summons little corrupted mushrooms. Jungle Abomination. The Jungle Abomination is covered in thick vines, moss, and jungle slop. Its skin appears rough and weirdly dirt-like, giving it the look of a living part of the jungle. With glowing green eyes on its bark face, the Jungle Abomination uses a variety of powerful and dangerous attacks that force you to stay alert. He also does the ground slam whenever you get too close, and possibly the most annoying move, the vine grab. This boss uses its long arms to grab you from a distance, pulling you closer for a brutal attack. Such an annoying boss. Then there is the Roar of Corruption, and summons these corrupted little minions as well with it. And these minions are like poison dart frogs or thorny creepers that join you and are so annoying. Treetop Whisperer. The Treetop Whisperer has a body that is slim and covered with bark armor, and like the Jungle Abomination, has glowing green eyes. The Treetop Whisperer's combat style revolves around quick hit and run tactics, combined with summoning and ranged attacks that keep players on their toes. One of the attacks is the Vine Lash. It lashes out with thorny vines to strike from a distance. He also summons little minions, which requires more dodging, and now these actually poison you, so you really gotta watch out. But one thing really unique the Treetop Whisperer does that the other bosses don't really do is that it uses its jungle abilities to blend into its surroundings. Very unique boss, but also like there is just too much dodging with this boss. Wretched Wraith. The Wretched Wraith, according to in-game lore, the Wraith is the island's curse, a spirit that lost its humanity long ago and now guards the frozen lands. The Wretched Wraith uses a variety of ice and spectral attacks to control the battlefield. It also fires these soul fireballs where it fires spectral projectiles that home in on you, dealing magic damage on contact. And guess what? It also summons the undead. The Wraith can call forth ice-themed skeletons or corrupted strays to fight alongside it. But it gets tougher in the later stages where the Wraith creates a ring of frost around itself that explode after a short delay, punishing players who stay too close for too long. But I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm starting to get too cold with these bosses, so let's switch it up. On to the next boss, the Tempest Golem. Deep within the storm-ridden isles of Minecraft dungeons lies a powerful and ancient creature born from the very of the skies. This boss combines the raw destructive force of wind and lightning to create one of the most intense, fast-paced battles in the game. So all of the bosses that we've gone through, this is the most interesting one so far. In the Howling Peaks DLC, released in December 2020, added a new high-altitude biomes to Minecraft dungeons, one of them being the Tempest Golem. In one of its lore, the lore paints the golem not as a naturally evil being, but as one twisted by corruption. Its very form and power reflects the mountains, Tempest, which is very prominent, which is shown by his, design. The Tempest Golem uses a variety of air and lightning based abilities that kind of control the area. One of the moves is its Gust Slam. It slams its rocky limbs into the ground, creating wind shockwaves that push players away while dealing moderate damage. And one really cool thing is he can do lightning. It calls down bolts of lightning in targeted locations, where it leaves electric zones that temporarily deal damage to you over time. The Ancient Guardian. The Ancient Guardian appears as a colossal mechanical sea creature hybrid, one of its inspiration being the Elder Guardian from vanilla Minecraft. But this version is a lot more larger and more bigger in design, with glowing weird runes on its body, moving armor plates, and weird energy going throughout its body. The Ancient Guardian uses a powerful mix of magical beams like the laser beam. The boss fires a sustained laser beam from its central eye, locking onto the players and dealing high continuous damage. This attack requires quick movement or hiding behind cover. And another attack, the Pulse Shockwave, where when you're close range, it releases a burst of magical energy that knocks you back. And he also has these minions where he calls them in, one of the minions being little smaller guardians, forcing you to multitask on fighting the boss and fighting the minions. I'm kind of seeing a pattern with these dungeon bosses, I'm not gonna lie. They keep on spawning little minions. Like, why can't we just fight the boss? Kind of like in Elden Ring. But fighting a sea creature, that he has this one cool move where he just explodes on you, forcing you to dodge. So you better dodge that attack. But now let's get into a boss with a little more lore. The Vengeful Heart of Ender. In the final scenes of Minecraft Dungeons Echoing Void, players face the final and most haunting challenge, the Vengeful Heart of Ender. In the final moments of Minecraft Dungeons, you fight the Vengeful Heart of Ender. This boss is not only the last time we see the Orb of Dominance's corruption, but also one of the most visually spectacular gameplays we're ever gonna see. Born from the remnants of dark power left behind after the Arch Illager's downfall, this entity is pure vengeance, wrath, and chaos incarnate. Born from the remnants of dark power left behind after we killed the Arch Illager. The Heart of Ender makes its debut in the Echoing Void DLC, released in July 2021. This DLC marked the conclusion of the Orb of Dominance storyline, and took players into the alien world of the End. Lore-wise, the Vengeful Heart of Ender is a manifestation of the lingering darkness that once empowered the Arch Illager. You know, turning the Illager into a darker version of himself. But now, this is the final form of the corruption. The thing that seeks to destroy anything that dares to go face it. During the fight, the Vengeful Heart of Ender is an incredibly mobile and lethal boss that uses a mixture of void energy, fire, and rapid strikes. One of the moves is the boss fires large sweeping laser beams across the platform, often in overlapping patterns. These beams deal heavy damage and force constant movement. So much aura. These flames persist, limiting where players can move. Then, he has his Void Eruption. The boss creates multiple zones in the battlefield where he explodes purple stuff, and then after fighting him for a while, at low health, it unleashes all of its attack, speeding up its movements and flooding the arena with both beams and fire, creating near constant danger. Enchanted Cave Spider. The Enchanted Cave Spider shares its base model with a standard cave spider from Minecraft Vanilla. Its smaller hitbox and fast erratic movement can make it frustrating to target, especially in cramped environments. By default, the cave spiders are more dangerous than regular spiders because of their poison attack, which applies damage over time. But once enchanted, they're not fun to fight with. What the Enchanted Cave Spider does is it moves incredibly fast. It leaves a burning path when it's walking. There's thorns that reflect damage to players when you attack it, and it has regeneration. And all in all, these little enchanted spiders are annoying. But they're just like in the arcade mode of Minecraft Dungeons, which is these little multi-mini games that is in Minecraft Dungeons. So they're not too much of a big boss that you need to, know about. Obsidian Monstrosity. The Obsidian Monstrosity is a hulking brute constructed from obsidian, magma blocks, and netherite. It has weird lava, and what makes the Obsidian Monstrosity cool is that it's even bigger than its redstone counterpart. The redstone monstrosity we were talking about earlier. This boss combines the heavy-hitting melee and area denial attacks with continuous environmental pressure. Some of it is Flame Slam, where it slams its arm into the ground, creating fiery shockwaves in a radial pattern. Lava Burst, where it summons explosions of lava geysers in random locations. And of course, minion summons. And once it gets to a really low health, it enters its berserk state, where all attacks are faster, fire zones last longer, and minions are summoned more frequently. Literally, good luck surviving this guy. Okay, I think we've talked enough about these Minecraft dungeon bosses. Like, they summoned a lot of minions. Some of them were pretty cool. Like, the Arc Illager had some lore behind it, where he went from this nerd to this kind of Giga Chad and then died. So let's get on to the next game, Minecraft Legends, where the bosses now are going to be a little more lore based, and actually I won't just be talking about the attacks. Starting with the Devourer. The Devourer is introduced in a cutscene midway through the campaign. Once players have weakened the piglin hordes enough to force the bosses out of hiding, it serves as the final challenge against the Horde of the Spore, one of the 3 piglin factions that spread across the overworld, each with their own architectural and combat style. Visually, the Devourer is looking chopped, like pork chopped. Like, he's not looking too good. This battle is one of its abilities designed to destroy fortifications, disrupt unit control, and turn the battlefield into an ever-shifting terror. And turn the battlefield into a mess. Here are its key attack behaviors. True to its name, the Devourer can consume player-built structures such as towers, walls, and spawners, instantly destroying them and healing itself in the process. This forces players to kind of like rethink the traditional defensive tactics. It also releases large clouds of spores that damage and slow down any mobs or players that enter them. These areas linger, acting as both damage zones and movement blockers. The Devourer also launches a series of explosive mushroom-like projectiles that rain down over a wide area. These cause area of effect damage and can quickly wipe out unarmored units. But while during the battle, the Devourer calls in waves of spore piglins, including ranged units and piglin engineers, to repair nearby nether buildings or stall your forces. But at low health, once you've fought him for a while, the Devourer enters a berserk mode, where its consumption ability becomes more frequent and its attacks are much more faster. It also begins destroying multiple structures at once. The Beast. The Beast is the personal champion of the Horde of the Hunt, a faction focused on offense, rapid mobility, and open assault tactics. Unlike the Horde of the Bastion, which prioritizes defense or the Spore's corrupted nature, the Hunt exists purely to overwhelm. The Beast stands at the apex. When we see him, he's trampling forests and rampaging through villages with brutal efficiency. We need to do it so we can stop the piglin invasion. The Beast is a towering boar-like monstrosity fused with fire and metal. It has glowing eyes, tusk-like blades, and a hide that appears to be both armor and scorched. Unlike bosses that rely on summoning or long-range tactics, the Beast is built for close-quarter attacks. The Beast's combat style is aggressive, including the charge attack where the beast lowers its head and charges at high speed, smashing through structures and units alike. This attack deals massive damage and knocks back anything in its path. If he's not doing the charge attacks, he's doing those ground slams, where it deals splash damage and stuns nearby units. The Beast also calls in elite hunt units, including ranged piglins and brute warriors. Then, at a low health, the Beast also has a berserk mode, where its speed increases dramatically and it begins to use its charge and slam attacks in rapid succession. Its roars may also push back structures and mobs during this phase. The Unbreakable. The Unbreakable is the supreme leader of the Horde of the Bastion. This boss emerges when players progress far enough to threaten the piglin foothold in the overworld. Its faction specializes in strongholds, massive fortifications, and defensive tactics. The Unbreakable's very presence on the battlefield, and when you look at him, he's very armored. He has thick tusks and an enormous warhammer. Its armor is made of netherite and gilded metal. And with all this armor, he walks very slow. But true to its name, the Unbreakable doesn't go down easily. Its combat style focuses on sustainability, area control, and punishing unprepared players. One being the Fortress Aura. The Unbreakable buffs nearby piglin buildings and mobs, making them more resistant to damage and harder to destroy. Attacks within this zone are also slower for players. In later phases of the fight, it can summon temporary piglin barricades or walls to block advancing forces. But when near defeat, the Unbreakable boosts all nearby piglin's defense and attack, creating a deadly final push meant to stall or wipe out your forces. The Great Hog. Within the storyline, the Great Hog is often depicted as the ultimate siege engine, used by the piglins to demolish overworld fortifications. The Great Hog is looking like a boar-like monster with thick armor-like hide and massive tusks capable of rendering through stone and steel alike. Its body is covered with jagged spikes and molten veins glowing with nether energy, but unlike other piglin bosses, the Great Hog moves slowly but hits hard, and its sheer girth dominates the battlefield. It carries the aura of a wild beast combined with the menace of a war engine. The Great Hog's combat style revolves around heavy hitting that can devastate players, units, and structures. The Great Hog charges forward, knocking down and damaging anything in its path. This attack can flatten walls and scatter units, making it particularly dangerous near player defenses. This attack can flatten walls and scatter units. It also uses its massive tusk to a wide arc melee attack, dealing significant damage and causing knockback to multiple targets around it. The beast stomps the ground, creating shockwaves that stun and damage nearby enemies and destroy fragile structures. The Great Hog lets out a terrifying roar that can also make you slow and even disrupt your battle. But during combat, the Great Hog calls smaller, aggressive warhogs to swarm players, and as it moves, it leaves a burning trail that damages and slows any player units or structures that try to pursue it. But that's all the bosses we're gonna cover today. I mean, I've learned a lot trying to research all the things in this video, and I really like learning the lore of these creatures. But yeah, hope you guys join the Sandwich Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.